Hey guys, this is Code Black and welcome to episode 5. Before I start, I want to let you guys know about the new group that I've opened. It's a hardstyle group for all you producers. So I'm going to add the link in the comment section below. So if you want to join, it's a community where we can share sounds and help each other out. Okay, so today I'm going to do a pretty simple tutorial on claps, but I still think it's quite important because there are a lot of people out there that are sampling claps from Vengeance packs, and while that can be good, a lot of the Vengeance packs are tailored towards house music or general dance music, and it's EQ'd in a way that does not work for hardstyle. There are very few claps in there that can really work well in a hardstyle track by just dragging and dropping. So if you're not really good with EQing, this becomes a bit of a problem. So I've actually heard a lot of demos out there where the EQ is just way out. So I'm going to teach you a way which will basically create a clap that will fit very easily into a hardstyle track. Maybe you just need to do some high shelving and some simple low cut. Okay, so I'm going to start off with drummers on. Make sure we have the internal sequence button off. So we've set it like this. And as you see over here, we have the clap section. Put your settings like this. The top two are in the middle. The last one, the reverb, is all the way up. Okay, so we've got two things. We've got Camel Crush, then an EQ. Now, I've done this various ways. In the past, I've actually done an EQ into the distortion, then a final EQ afterwards. But to keep it simple today, we're going to try it like this. So enable the distortion, the compression, and the master. Turn the fat mode on, turn the amount up to around here, tube up to here, and just the mech a little bit. And the mix all the way up, of course. The main bad boy is in the middle. This is just giving it a boost in the mid-range. This is kind of slightly starting to dip off some of the high ends, just rolling off right at the end. And this is just rolling off some low end. Actually, you probably don't even need to bother with that. What I'll end up doing in the end with this clap is exporting it, and it will have quite a bit of the low end. I'm going to show you that just here. I like to export my clap with the low end. I used to always obsessively high pass at around 200 Hertz because, I mean, let's be honest, we don't really need the low end or the mud from the clap. That's not the point of the clap. But after some years of playing around, I did find that the low end could work with the phase, with the kick and other instruments. So sometimes it actually was nicer to keep some of that low end in there. And I have seen many producers that don't remove the low end at all from these kind of claps. Both can work. Technically, it should be better to remove it, of course, because it's extra noise in the low end that you don't really need. But once again, I'm not going to dismiss that technique completely. So play around with it yourself and make up your own mind. For those of you who are wondering how you get the clap to work in drummers on, it's pretty simple. This is the note that it's on, and in your DAW, it might be an octave or two higher. So this is a pretty good clap. But what we can do is we can use an external reverb, so we can remove some of this reverb. Sounds pretty gross. We can add a reverb from an external VST plugin. So what I have here is a reverb I like to use a lot on snares, claps, and any kind of percussion instruments. I'm just going to show you what it sounds like. So as you play around with these settings, you're going to get different timings. The pre-delay will allow it to pump like it is in this example. If you don't want that, you can go for a straightforward clap delay like this. Once again, using this before distortion, after distortion will change the effect. In this case, I have used it after the distortion. Okay, so we've used reverbs, we've used distortion, and we've used EQ to shape the sound. What we can also do is EQ pre-distortion. This can give it a little bit of character. So what I'm going to do is just add a Pro Q pre-distortion. Just by adding a ridiculous Q value. The sound completely changes. So what we can also do besides EQing pre-distortion is a plugin called Transmod. In this case, I use the Oxford Transmod from Sonox. Transport works by basically pushing up the transient, which is the peak of the sound. So it's creating a transient peak right at the beginning of the sound. This is a ratio, so it's basically like an effect amount. And the overshoot is how long that transient is going to be. So in this case, it's 4 milliseconds, which is quite short. But then again, a clap is not that long. So I'm going to change the amount and let you guys hear. Now these are a few tools that I use to shape my claps, but don't forget, at the end of this, when you have your clap, probably cut off around 200 Hertz, but I would recommend bouncing your clap with the full range. It doesn't hurt to have that extra information. You can always decide where you want to high pass it in your track. Oh, and one last thing. If you're going to bounce your claps, I would suggest making, let's say, like 8 claps with a bit of a tail on the end. And bouncing it like that. I tend to use the second clap always. I don't know why. But with drummers on, each clap that you do actually does sound different. For some reason, the second clap always works for me. But have a listen through them and choose your favorite one. Alright guys, until next time. Peace.